A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Aftersought. So now, today's little requisition on Aftersought is an AccuStrike blaster. Yeah, because why not? After all, if there's one big thing that AccuStrike has compared to others, it'd be for the fact that, well, they tried to take advantage of how they could probably use a different dart design to try to make the darts more accurate compared to some of the others. Because there have been some complaints that for elite darts, they're not necessarily the best in terms of their performance because of how they could fly in the air pretty good, but most of the time, performance pretty much varies depending on their condition and their usage. But I will say though that the Falconfire, other than the fact that, well, there might be some things that probably weren't taken into account very easily, this one's actually a pretty decent blaster. Although if you haven't really heard about me talking about the modulus ion fire, then, well, let's just say that this breech door, which is also how the blaster primes, can only fit one dart in it. And that's kind of a problem right there. To use the Falconfire and to put only one dart in there, and now I just put it in invisible, so let's get that out of the way really quickly. Wow, I don't really know. The Falconfire probably isn't really one of the best picks in general, but I will say that its looks are probably one thing to take note of, because after all, the color scheme of dark gray, white, light gray, and orange, as well as some black on it, they really do come together pretty nicely here. So of course, that's probably one good thing I can highlight about that AccuStrike series right away. Although maybe not everything is probably done correctly, because first of all, dart storage is very similar to that of some other one dart barrel blasters out there. Most pistol-less blasters can only have one barrel put on it for some odd reason, although there have been some that have tried to have more than one barrel, such as the Elite Triad or even the new Super Triton or Elite 2.0 Trio, if you will. But there have not been as many guarantees to try and make the blasters better within that sort of idea in and of itself. That's sometimes what happens though. You make a sacrifice every once in a while, and sure enough, you might get what you want. But what I could say about the Falconfire in general is that, well, it kind of falls under the same category of how it's probably not as reliable based on the fact that it only has one barrel put onto it. And it does have dart storage for two, but look at this setup. It kind of makes it look more like an SMG in a way. This is probably more like the magazine, and then, well, this is probably how the cocking mechanism would work, but it is just a one-shot blaster, and even with the invisible integration that I've applied to this, it still fires as if it were an actual pistol. But still, this probably isn't a bad blaster, mainly for the fact that, well, it does try to do some things that other blasters could not do. And that is to try and be much more accurate with how the dart's flight pattern is. And that's simply because of the fact that, well, the darts are simply made to try and be more accurate when in flight. And the Falconfire does try to take that into account easily. And it actually was my first ever AccuStrike blaster that I picked up back in summer of 2017. So, in general, that's probably something else I probably would also want to highlight about it. The AccuStrike series had gotten pretty big within the next 2 years, and we haven't been getting a lot of new things since then, but the AccuStrike series definitely has tried to do a lot better than what the other blaster lineups have not tried to do. And so this was a pretty good concept that really wasn't doomed from the start, but of course when the usage of a blaster like this that has only one barrel into it, and I have already talked about a couple others, including the AccuStrike Alpha Hawk, which was more of a rifle-based blaster with a 5-dart rotating cylinder in it. kind of made a cross between the Long Strike and the Maverick. But in general, the Falconfire probably doesn't have so much for it that might be a pro. Its ergonomics, though, are pretty good. Its priming is, well, kind of smooth. And in terms of, well, reloading it, there's another invisible for you as a bonus. Well, again, I guess not everything's meant to turn out perfectly. Yeah, I admit it that the twirling is also pretty good on this one, so that's at least 3 good things about it. Its dart storage can kind of get in the way, and also, what an odd place for a tack rail, right? I mean, who would put it below the dart storage? I mean, I get it. There have been blasters that have had stranger tactical rail placements, but this is one of a kind, by far. And maybe I probably wouldn't have a lot of grapes for this, but look at this. Who designed this? Oh! My gosh. Who would have thought? I mean, if someone wanted to put dart storage on here, like a dart storage rail similar to that of what the N-Strike barrel brake had a long time ago, and there have been other blasters that have taken that into effect as well. There have been others that tried to re-release the, well, the dart storage attachment like that, but to put that down here? What were they thinking? That's the fatal flaw right there. Okay, that's pretty much enough right there for the AccuStrike Falconfire. One of the first outings of the AccuStrike series, but wow. This right here is the major problem of all major problems I've already highlighted here when it came to reviewing Nerf blasters. And I've still got a lot more to go, so if you will, stick around with me for that time right there. If you want to see more go done on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.